welcome to another exciting episode of Connect with Lenore. Today's conversation is going to be about relationships and identity. I mean, have you ever felt lost in a relationship, like you cannot recognize yourself? Have you been struggling to maintain your individuality in a partnership? You're not alone. We are exploring the concept of identity merge, where relationship blur boundaries and we lose ourselves in the process. So we're going to be discussing the signs, the consequences of identity merge, and practical tips on how you can reclaim your identity without losing that relationship, and how you can maintain healthy boundaries with those around you. So please join me on this wonderful adventure. Please subscribe, share, tell your family, friends, and loved ones. This topic is something that you do not want to miss. Let's get right into it. What is an identity merge? An identity merge is when we lose our sense of self in a relationship with someone. It becomes so much entwined with our partners that we cannot recognize who we are again. It can happen in any form of relationship, although it mostly happens in romantic relationships, but it can happen in any form of relationship, romantic, family relationship, friendship, and even a professional relationship. So it is often driven by a deep-seated desire for connection, validation, someone that will love us, that will accept us for who we are. Careful, in the process we might lose our sense of self. Is that losing our sense of self in a relationship can have severe consequences. We may feel trapped, we may feel suffocated, we may feel resentful towards that person. That is why our well-being emotionally and mentally is very, very important. We're going to be talking about the factors that contribute to this identity merge. Like, what causes us to lose our sense of individuality and our sense of self when we are in a relationship. Like I said, it's not bound to romantic relationships alone. So now, the first one is emotional enmeshment, and because when we become so much dependent on our partner for emotional validation, we have this fear that we don't want this person to abandon us, so we so much depend on the person for everything. I mean, what decision we want to make, that person must be there, whatever thing, like however we are feeling, we don't even have time for ourselves to process our emotions. We always feel like we need to share everything with such a person, which is not bad in itself, but when it becomes too much, one thing I realize is that in every relationship there must be emotional boundaries. It's not every time that you feel some type of emotions that you share with your partner, as much as sharing is a very good thing. Then another thing that causes this identity merge, that contributes to it, is codependency. This codependency has to do with pattern of behavior where one person enables another's destructive habit. I mean, you obviously know that your partner has this habit that is really causing a lot of problems, but you keep nursing it. You are not addressing the issues. Of you to tell the person that, okay, this is something that you're doing that is destructive to this relationship. It's affecting the relationship between me and you. But because you don't want to lose the person, because you want to be a people pleaser, like I said, and you have that fear that what if I confront this person about their destructive habits and they actually leave me or they abandon me. So because of that, people prefer to just keep quiet when certain issues happen, and before you know it, over time they keep suppressing that emotion that they are feeling, and they cannot even recognize who they are anymore. The thing is trauma bonding. When two people go through a very traumatic experience, there's something that can cause an identity merge, because these people are bonding towards a traumatic experience. Probably both of them were kidnapped. A lot of things can happen that make people get emotionally bounded to each other, especially when it comes to trauma. So because of that, these people are loyal to each other, they are committed to each other, but instead of them overcoming the trauma together, there's a way that it's only that trauma that brings them together. So it's the only thing that they have that can actually bring them closer and have that level of connection between them. Society expectation. The society expects a man to be a certain way, they expect a woman to be in a certain way, and once you're already crossing the line of the social norms, people already have an idea of what gender roles should be, what a role of a woman should be, what a role of a man should be in a relationship. So because of all those expectations, it affects people in a relationship. And another thing is that Personal factors can also cause it. Somebody that has low self-esteem, the person has trauma, the person has this fear of being alone. So because of that, they give their all. And in the process of giving their all to this relationship, they give themselves to that relationship, to the point that they don't even know who they were when they entered that relationship in the first place, because there's so much sacrifice and there's so much giving. So as much as relationships is about two people coming together towards a goal, you have signs, because an essential part of this identity merge is for you to know that you're already losing yourself. Many of you, as you're watching this video, you're realizing that it's obvious that I'm already losing myself. So it's time for you to find yourself back while still maintaining that relationship with such a person. There is a healthy way to do such. So now I'm going to be telling us the signs and the consequences of this identity merge. How can you recognize people that have lost themselves? How can you realize that you have actually lost yourself in this relationship? And how can you reclaim yourself back? Now, the first sign that can help you address identity merge before it's too late, that can let you know that truly I'm already losing my sense of identity. Number one is loss of personal interest. Ever since you've been in a relationship with that person, have you lost interest in your personal hobbies? Are you pursuing your purpose the way you used to? Like, if you try to take stock of the things you've achieved in terms of your passion, your career, since you've been in that relationship, has there been any progress? Things that will make you know whether you're already losing yourself or not. Because when you're in that state, you no longer prioritize your personal interest. You feel guilty even when you're taking time for yourself. You lose touch with your family and friends. Like, you feel isolated. Your family and friends are wondering that what is going on. Like, you enter the relationship with this guy and you don't even talk to your friends again. You don't even associate with anybody again. You just seclude yourself. You understand? So that is one sign that will make you know that yes, you're already losing your identity in a relationship. The second sign that you can know is that when you're compromising your values and boundaries. Now the question is this: are you compromising your values and your boundaries in order to maintain this relationship with this person because you don't want to lose the person? Are you ignoring red flags? Are you ignoring your personal needs? Are you feeling suffocated? Are you feeling like you're just giving and giving and giving without getting anything in return? It is very important that when you're in a relationship, even before you enter a relationship, have your own values and your boundaries, and you should not compromise them for anybody. As long as these values and these boundaries that you have, they are something that has helped you over time. I'll give you guys an example. Okay, for somebody that decides that, okay, I'm someone that I want a Christian relationship, I want my courtship to be according to the scriptures, which means no engaging in any sexual activities, and you actually hold strong that value and boundaries. Now when you get into a relationship with a guy, you should be able to articulate those boundaries that, okay, these are the limits to what I can condone in this relationship. These are the values that I hold them. But if you say because you want to maintain a relationship with such a person, you voice it out, and this guy is like, if you know that you really love me, you should be able to compromise. Nobody that truly loves you will want you to compromise the very boundary and values and standards that you have built for yourself, that has brought you to where you are today, just because of them. You can decide on your own that you want to break such, but that person should not be a direct influence. You understand? It shows that this person doesn't really value you as a person, like I would say. So when you're in a relationship, you need to be careful of compromising, because the more you keep compromising your value, your boundaries, the more you keep resenting this person. You might not be able to voice it out, but there will be this level of resentment that this person actually made me break my promise, made me break my boundaries, made me do things that I never thought I would, something like that. Then another sign that you can actually know that you're having an identity merge and you're losing your sense of self is difficulty making decisions independently. Like, do you struggle to make decisions about your life? Do you struggle to make decisions without your partner's input? Like, maybe when your partner is not around, you cannot even be confident enough to make a decision. Such people, they have this fear of disagreement. Like, what if I make this decision without this person? As much as I know that when you're in a relationship with somebody, no matter what decision you make, you need to consider the other person. But there are some some destiny defining decisions that you need to make on your own, such as your purpose, your career path, what you came here for. Those are the things you even need to discover before you enter a relationship. That's why I always tell my friends that before you enter any relationship, know where you are going, have a sense of direction. Then when you meet this person will know that this girl is already a complete person before I met her. Then obviously it will build on what you have built already. You understand? You've built the foundation, then it will now build on it. But if you don't even know who you are, you don't even know what you want to do, obviously it will just put you in a direction that it feels like is okay and is comfortable for him. That's just the way it is. So then another thing that will make us know that okay, somebody is losing their sense of identity is that they have emotional problems, they are anxious, they are depressed, they have this level of the resentment towards that person. Your partner will be asking you, what did I do? Now, it's not like I did anything to you, but obviously there's this level of resentment that you made me compromise my standard. I can't even recognize who I am. That is why I always tell people self-care is very important. It is when you are okay that you can actually be in a blissful and healthy relationship with someone. So now I'm going to be telling us the ways that we can reclaim our identity without losing that relationship. Although I'm not going to promise you that if you follow these steps, that some of you might not lose your relationship, because not every person that you're in a relationship with is that flexible. There are some people that they are so rigid that they will tell you that they will make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. They will make you feel guilty for deciding that you want to prioritize self-care, whereas they don't know that it is somebody that is healthy, it is somebody that is emotionally stable that can actually love someone. So yourself is very, very important. When someone tells you that okay, they love you, the truth is it is because they met you as a whole person. There is something about you that they love. That was what attracted them to you in the first place. Now imagine that part of you that they love, that part of you that they fell in love with, you actually lost that part of you. You can't even remember who you are anymore. So as at that stage, you know that there is something wrong. So now I'm going to be giving us the tips of how to actually reclaim our identity. The thing is, you have to have a form of self-reflection. You need to journal. You need to meditate. You need to write things down. That's what journaling does. Write your emotions down, what you're feeling, in which areas of your life have you compromised because of your partner, the things you used to do before you entered this relationship, what are the things that you want to do now. Write all your thoughts, your insecurities, everything down in a journal. Practice self-care. Like another thing that I would say is that re-engage in personal passions. Rekindle old hobbies, explore new interests, try and learn, what are the hobbies that you engaged in before you enter that relationship. Try to bring up those parts of you that has been buried for a long time. Try to bring them to the surface by pursuing that area of interest back. You communicate it to your partner. Let your partner understand that this is what is going on. I don't recognize myself again. I need to find myself. Let him understand from your own perspective. Let her understand from your own perspective, and how both of you can actually work towards this area. I would say is that if you're somebody that you just casually enter a relationship, you need to set boundaries. Those are part of the strategies that I will tell you that can help you to reclaim your identity. You need to set boundaries, establish a clear limit, communicate your needs, prioritize self-care, have healthy conflicts. Someone that you avoid conflicts with people, there is something wrong somewhere, because you always have conflict with people, but it doesn't mean that you will not solve it. So you trying to avoid that conflict is even part of what makes you lose your identity, because you can't even express yourself to your partner. So you have to be able to have this form of self-confidence that yes, as much as okay, my partner brought this idea and I'm not comfortable with it, you need to be able to voice it out. Okay, what can we do? So you guys working together as a team without one person having to sacrifice for another person. Relationship is all about teamwork. Once there is no teamwork, then there is something wrong somewhere. Then another thing that I would say is that seek support. Surround yourself with positive people that will encourage you to find yourself. Have friends. You can go to therapy. You guys can even go to a relationship therapist. Someone that will be able to see from both sides of the story, talk to you guys, give you exercises that you can work with, then let you understand the value of you having your sense of identity when you're in a relationship. One thing I will tell you is that when you have your sense of self, your sense of individuality in a relationship, it will really help you. You will enjoy your partner, such as your partner too will enjoy you, because you're not, one person is not sacrificing who they are for another person. So you're bringing two unique people, two strong people to be able to work together as a team. The last section that I'm going to talk about is you maintaining healthy boundaries. It is very, very important. Any relationship without boundaries is bound to end up in chaos. I would say is that communicate your needs openly and honestly. Ladies, you cannot know what is inside your mind until you speak it out. Men, communicate. This is what I want. This is what I want. Let the person know that, okay, this is where I feel like we need to adjust. This is where I feel like you need to adjust. This is what you are doing to me. Let this person know. Communicate openly. Don't go around in corners and keep giving critic this thing. If you're not fine, tell him you're not fine. Not I'm fine, when you're obviously not fine. He cannot read your mind. Another thing that I would say is that actively listen to each other, communicate, have respectful disagreements, disagree then agree. You understand? Another thing that I would say is that set clear limits, respect each other's boundaries. As much as you're in a relationship, you need space. I mean, it can be suffocating being with one person 24 hours, like not even having your own personal space. I really salute married couples because I feel like it's not easy, seeing somebody every single day, waking up to somebody every single day without no person. You need that personal space. It's not something that is maybe you're trying to avoid your partner, but it's just something you need for your mental stability. So another thing that I would say is that you and your partner have to sit down, define roles and responsibility, respect each other, carefully communicate what exactly you feel like is wrong in what you guys are doing. Then you guys should sit down and find solutions to it. Take time for yourself, go on vacations. You guys can go on vacations, at least away from all the problems and all the issues that is on ground. You guys should work on yourself. Schedule alone time. It is very important, even for married couples. As much as you're in a marriage or in a relationship, you need alone time. You need to be alone with yourself. It's very, very important. There are some aspects of yourself that your partner can never understand. It's part of who we are as human beings. So you need to work on that too. Then seek support, engage in self-care activities, take breaks, rest. Don't just keep going through the day with all the stress and you're not even taking a break. So it is very, very important because your identity is precious and you need to nurture it. That's all we have for today's episode of Connect with Eleanor. I hope in these few minutes you've been able to learn that losing your sense of self in a relationship is not healthy. It always leads to resentment, it always leads to anxiety, depression, and it is very important that you maintain your individuality. You find your purpose before entering a relationship. It is very, very important. And once you're in a relationship, communicate. Let this person know. Communicate to your partner. It is what you communicate. Don't have that fear that, okay, what if I tell this person that this is what I don't like? What if he breaks up with me? What if he leaves me? Someone that truly loves you, that respects you, will not just say because you told them that, okay, this is how you feel, then they will decide that they want to break up with you. It's not possible. Such a person will reevaluate. He will try to assess what you said, and if there's any way there can be a form of adjustment. That is why flexibility in a relationship is very, very important. You don't have to sacrifice yourself to keep that man. You don't have to sacrifice yourself to keep that lady. You can still keep being yourself, having your hobbies, your passion, your pursuit for life, while still being in a relationship. Relationship is not all about two incomplete people coming together. It is about two matured individuals that are complete in themselves coming together to form a partnership. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Connect with Eleanor. I hope I was able to connect with you on another level. I will see you guys later. Please keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep supporting Eleanor. Eleanor loves you so much. Wishes you the best on your journey to growth. Bye.